Hello everyone, welcome to a new video where I'll be showing you how to get the iron furnaces mod. And well, this mod adds a ton of different furnace types to Minecraft, with improvements, upgrades, augments, automation options, energy compatibility, and integration with other mods. And basically, to play with this mod, we'll head over to Iron Furnaces. As you can see, it has 77 million users, created a decade ago, and last updated 4 months ago. It's as simple as going to the Files section, finding the software we want, in this case Forge or NeoForge, and selecting the version we need. The most recent is 1.2, 1.1, but we also have 1.20.1, 1.21, whichever you prefer. Click the 3 buttons and download the file. Then save it by pressing Windows plus R, typing app data, going to roaming Minecraft, and placing it in the mods folder. This way you'll have access to the Iron Furnaces mod without any issues. So let's begin with the guide. Alright, how can we get started with Iron Furnaces in Minecraft? How do we make the first furnace and its upgrades? Well, basically, to get started with this mod, we're first going to need the regular furnace, okay? The stone furnace. For those who don't know how to craft it, you make it with any type of stone in a crafting table. And basically the key idea is that each tier of furnace has its own upgrade items. So if we look at utilities, we'll see, for example, that we can upgrade this furnace into a pumpkin furnace, which I think is just an aesthetic change, or we can upgrade it to a copper furnace or an iron furnace. Both seem useful, though the copper one appears to be slightly better. The copper one we can improve, upgrade to iron. The iron one we can upgrade to gold. The gold one we can upgrade to diamond, as we're seeing with this crafting. The diamond one we can upgrade to emerald, this to obsidian, and the obsidian to netherite, okay? We also have the rainbow plating. Here we have 2 furnaces and we can get the rainbow core. And with rainbow core and rainbow plating, you can make the rainbow furnace, okay? Which I understand would be the best furnace in the entire game. Alright, to start within the air mod tiers, we first need to understand how to craft the iron furnace from the iron furnaces mod. Basically, here's the iron furnace, and to craft it, we'll need a regular furnace. A furnace is made with 8 stone blocks, and we'll need to surround it with iron. We also have the option to use 3 iron on each side, 2 glass, and a copper furnace. The copper furnace is made by surrounding a normal furnace with copper. So we're going to grab some coal or coal blocks and some iron, okay? It shows cook time 160 here. Let's put this here. Sorry, let's grab the iron ore instead. Let's compare the smelting difference between these items. We can see it's working much faster now. We also have the configuration section for redstone interaction, and we're seeing that the second one is significantly faster, right? The first one started earlier, but is already losing the race easily. So we can see this upgrade makes a big difference, and we won't even get into augments for even more improvements, okay? Alright, how can we craft the copper furnace? Well, basically, the copper furnace is made with 8 copper and a furnace in the center. It seems to have slightly more cook time than the iron one, but eventually we'll need to use the copper one and surround it with iron to make the iron furnace. So it might be a resource to save 2 iron in early game, right? But eventually we'll need to spend more minerals anyway. It's interesting because theoretically it has a different cook time, like cook time 180, cook time 160, unless basically... Oh no, it's actually lower, okay, because it decreases. So the copper furnace takes a bit longer to smelt than the iron furnace, okay? It's a way to use copper in early game and save iron for more important things than furnace smelting speed, which isn't super essential at the beginning. Alright, how can we craft the gold furnace in the iron furnaces mod? Well, we're talking about the next tier, and to craft it we need an iron furnace surrounded by gold and a gold block. But we also have this slightly cheaper version, the silver furnace, which has a cook time of 140, a bit higher than iron. Put a gold block and glass here. How do you make the silver furnace? Well, it doesn't tell me. It doesn't show me, okay? It doesn't show the recipe. Maybe you find it somewhere, or maybe... I think it doesn't show because it's probably a furnace type compatible with mods that have silver. That is, if we add a mod to iron furnaces that gives us silver, then we can craft that furnace. As you can see, it has a cook time of 120, okay? 40 less than iron, so it's quite superior. We're talking about a 25% improvement. And obviously you can see the difference when smelting, right? The copper speed is this, for example, while gold is going like this. It's clearly much faster, isn't it? So yeah, it's that simple. Alright, how can we craft the diamond furnace? Well, for the diamond furnace, we have only one option, which is 6 diamonds, 2 glass pieces, and a gold furnace. We've already seen where the gold furnace comes from, and that's it. This one has a cooking time of 80, a third faster than the previous gold one and twice as good as the iron one. And if we put it to smelt, we'll see that its speed is absolutely incredible, right? If I now go check the iron furnace, we'll see that it's clearly much slower. So there you have it. Alright, how can we craft the emerald and crystal furnaces from iron furnaces? Well, basically the emerald and crystal furnaces have the same speed with a cook time of 40, and we'll see they're twice as fast as the diamond furnace, okay? There you can see how quickly it smelts, really showing superior performance. And how do you get them, or how do you craft them? Well, we're going to need the diamond furnace for the crystal one. It's made by surrounding it with glass and an eye of ender. And the emerald furnace is made with a diamond furnace surrounded by 8 emeralds. We'll want to have these two separately, as this way we can apply the rainbow plating and get the final resource for the best furnace in the game. Alright, just before we unlock the best furnace in the game, or in the iron furnaces mod, we're going to check out the obsidian one, okay? After the obsidian, we'll have the netherite one. So the obsidian furnace, how do you craft it? It has a cook time of 20, which is half that of the glass or emerald furnace. We're talking about a very minimal cooking time, and it's made with an emerald furnace, 4 blaze rods, and 4 obsidian blocks at the corners. We can also use a crystal furnace to craft it. Here you can see the crafting recipes for the different elements and how to obtain them. Now let's see how it works. If we place it, we can see this is another level, right? The crystal one was fast, but the obsidian one is twice as fast. And we still have the netherite one, and we haven't even seen the maximum tier yet. What will the maximum tier be like? Will it be instantaneous? What do you think? So yeah, there we have it. Alright, how can we craft the netherite furnace from Iron Forces for Minecraft? Well, basically the netherite furnace is one of the most expensive ones. It's the one right before the rainbow, okay? So the netherite furnace is made with 4 netherite ingots, 3 magma creams, and 1 soul sand or soul soil. And it basically has a cook time of 4 times faster than the obsidian one. The obsidian one is made like this, the emerald one like this, diamond like this, gold like this, iron like this, and copper like this. Now let's place the coal block and the iron block there. And as we can see, that's how quickly it smelts. We said the obsidian one melted very quickly, but this one is on another level. So you can see the glass one, well, they've all melted already. The diamond one goes at this speed and has a cook time of 80, okay? So here we have the netherite one, which has already finished the stack. The truth is, that's insane. Alright, finally, let's go for the best furnace of all, the rainbow furnace. Here it appears to say cook time 20. Let's understand how to craft this rainbow furnace, okay? Basically, the rainbow furnace is crafted with 8 rainbow platings, which you get all at once by combining all previous furnaces: iron, gold, diamond, emerald, obsidian, glass, and copper. That's how we'll get the 8 plates. And then, to get the core, the central core, what we need to do is use 2 netherite furnaces and all types of crystals we see: red, orange, yellow, green, magenta, purple, and blue, okay? This way we would have access to the rainbow furnace, right? So if we take here, for example, a block of coal and an iron ore stack and smelt it, we'll see that effectively in 1 tick, okay? In a cook time of 20, it processes the entire stack. I mention this because many would think the netherite one melting at higher speed, right? It has a cook time of 5, sure, but it goes 1 by 1, while this one processes stack by stack. It's really an incredible, insanely powerful furnace. Right, how can we use the settings menu that we're looking at here? Okay, on the furnace interface, there's a tab, a small tab right here, and basically each square represents a face of the furnace, right? Here it says top, which is the upper face, input and bottom output. What's that useful for? Well, it helps us with hoppers, okay? If I now take and you want to check input or output, we'll grab an ore, alright? You'll see the iron ore works as input, so items go down and come out here as output, okay? That makes sense. We also have fuel input and fuel output, which are basically all the other faces, right? These are used to place fuel. In this case, the fuel is coal blocks, okay? So if I grab some coal blocks here and put them in, it'll keep regenerating these coal blocks without any problem. I also understand that we can change it, right? If that's what we want, simply by clicking on it. We also have auto input on or auto output on, or we can disable them if we don't want to use auto input and output. Right now, its settings ignore redstone, okay? But we could make it emit signals to a comparator or emit a comparator signal with subtractor, which I think would show the difference between what's smelting and the fuel level. And for redstone output, it would emit at maximum strength. Basically, redstone controls how this system works, right? If it gets redstone, then it works, okay? If I select the comparator option, it requires the redstone signal it receives to be higher than what I set. Same with comparator with subtraction, which I've set to 15 but can't lower. Small bug, right? So not much else. It's if we want to activate the furnace with redstone, so it's that simple. Alright, how can we use augments in iron furnaces for Minecraft? The augments menu shows 3 slots, right? If we we can do it directly. If we open it, we'll see red, green, and blue. First, we have red augments like the blasting furnace, which makes the furnace work like a blast furnace. It's limited to those tasks, but works faster. Then we have smoking, which does the same thing, limits it to a smoker, but also makes it faster. Then we have the green augments, which include speed that basically reduces cooking time, okay? It cuts cooking time in half, but also uses twice as much fuel. And then fuel efficiency, which uses less fuel but increases cooking time. Got it? About 25%. It says right there 25%, which isn't too bad really. And basically it makes the fuel twice as efficient, okay? Just for 25% furnace efficiency, which is very good. I'll show you the crafting recipes I haven't shown you yet. This is the fuel one. This is the speed one, okay? We can use any type of stone. This is the blasting one. This is the smoking one. And now let's move on to the factory one. These would be the more advanced blue upgrades, and basically the factory one turns the furnace into a factory, basically increasing the input and output slots, okay? Let's right click, and as you can see, we can put more items, but at the same time, to be able to smelt, we're going to need energy, okay? Therefore, we change how the furnace works. And then we have the generator, okay? As you can see here, it allows us to generate energy. And basically what it does is convert the furnace into a generator, right? It consumes fuel to generate RF, but it no longer smelts items for production, okay? See, it says output here. I understand that if I take this device here that needs RF and place it underneath, it fills up, it effectively fills with energy, right? For the output, we can click this, we can click here and set the output wherever we want to power adjacent devices. And now we could simply be smelting using this energy. I understand this is a much more efficient way to manage energy and fuel consumption, right? So that covers all the upgrades we wanted to discuss. All right, now I'm going to explain how rainbow coal works and how to get it. Basically, to obtain it, it's a special item from the mod. It has no crafting recipe and is essentially a fuel that can smelt items infinitely. Okay, let's try it here, for example. These smelt. Let's grab the best one, which would be the rainbow furnace. We'll convert it into a factory, or better said, a generator, okay? We'll give it speed and that's it. Now we'll put in the rainbow coal, and as you can see, it's filling the furnace without any issues. I honestly thought it might get used up, but it doesn't seem to be depleting much, right? I'll try to use it up, but we can see it handles at least 1 million items, okay? So let's try again. Well, it did get used up, it did. My question is how it regenerates. There, I'm smelting it again. The truth is, I don't really know how to get it right now. I understand we might be able to find it somewhere. It works as fuel and says, melts an item. And also a generator, but there is not much more info about rainbow coal. As I mentioned, if it used 2 million, it must have about 10, right? 10 million melting capacity. It might be an item we can find in chests, okay? If we're very, very lucky as fuel and such. It doesn't seem to regenerate, but theoretically it's infinite, or at least hard to use up. So that's it, the complete guide for this mod. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, leave a like and I'll see you in future guides. Absolutely. Subscribe and hit like to support the channel. And remember, below you'll find a free AI ebook for those interested in the topic. Bye-bye. Alright, how can we understand the speeds and fuel consumption in iron furnaces? Well, basically we have different cooking levels. We have copper, which has a speed of 180, iron at 160, gold at 120, diamond at 80, crystal at 40, along with emerald, which has a cooking time of 40, and netherite with a cooking time of 5. In contrast, the maximum level, the rainbow furnace, has a cooking time of 20. What's going on here? Well, what's happening is that, as you can see, the netherite furnace will smelt items much faster. The problem is that it processes one item at a time. But the rainbow furnace, while a bit slower, will smelt the entire stack at once. Okay? So unless we need to smelt items one by one, like swords and pickaxes, in that case, the rainbow furnace wouldn't be useful, right? We'd be better off with something like a netherite furnace. But if we need to smelt multiple stacks, the rainbow furnace is exactly what we're looking for, which is most cases.